Hey robot makers, so this is a bit of a surprise live stream out of my normal cycle of one every Sunday. So I wanted to do an unboxing. I've got a brand new Picade, which is a retro arcade dream machine from Pimoroni. I've not opened this yet and I can't wait to open this. I thought I'd share this with you and we can open it together and see what it's like. I've had a sneaky peek just to see, but I've not actually opened up anything else. I've just took the lid off the box and checked that everything's there. So let's have a look at this, shall we? So I've also got a brand new Raspberry Pi 4. Managed to grab this from Pi Hut. They had some 2 gig versions. Some of these are still available at the moment, so that's what's going to be powering this as well. Okay, we have Adam here as well as Dale, and Carlos is here too. Great stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to move my microphone over here. Hopefully you can still hear me okay. Give me a shout if everything's good. And let's get to it. So yes, over here I've got a couple of cameras set up so we can see what's going on. I've got this side camera over here. We have the top view, and just in case I need to speak to you, I've got this one too. Okay, well let's go for the main top view. So yeah, I've had this about a week now, and I've not actually opened this up yet. So let's remove the lid and show you what's inside. So the first thing we have is a great big, looks like a poster. Let's see what this says. So it says Picade, infinite credits. If you remember when you was a kid and you used to have to put quarters, or in my day it was like 10p coins into the Picade. You can see a sneak peek of what that thing is going to look like. It looks really, really nice. So that's going to go on the wall, I think. I've got a couple of other bits and pieces here. A little envelope. I'm not sure what this is about. Let's have a quick look in here. Ho, 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 ho. Stickers. Oh yes, lots and lots of cool stickers. That's really cool. So we can really make it our own. I'm moving the Raspberry Pi one there. That looks really, really good. Of course, the little Pimoroni man, love it. I asked if he has a name. Apparently he doesn't. He's just the pirate. We have lots of other ones as well. Picade. What does that say? Frickin' lasers. My other computer costs $35. Oh, look at those little cute stickers. They are really cute. I think Alex would like them as well. There's the bearable ones as well, and we've got all the Pimoroni smaller versions. Oh, so many cool stickers. So these are all going to go all over this thing. That was a nice little bonus. I wasn't expecting stickers. Cool. Right, let's just put them over to one side. And we also have a little booklet here / poster, which is about Pico 8. I don't know if you're familiar with Pico 8. This is like a fantasy arcade machine, all 8-bit, so you can actually design the graphics, the sound, and the actual game logic, all in a 32K cartridge, which is like a virtual cartridge. There's loads of games out there for Pico 8. I've got this on, I bought one of those, what do you call it? A little handheld computer a long time ago, and that came with Pico 8, so I'm quite familiar with that. So let's carry on opening up, see what else we've got in here, shall we? Okay, so there seems to be 3 boxes there. The first one says accessories. Let's try and get this one out. I love the way they've laid this out. So yeah, that's the whole depth of the box. Let's have a look what's in here. All buttons and a great big, you can see that in there, joystick. Try and get that out. Wow, that is one serious piece of hardware. Nice. So it's like a series of 4 micro switches to detect the direction. Very nice. And then there's a little header there that we obviously connect to that. Whole lot of buttons. Look at all those gorgeous colourful buttons. I cannot wait to get those installed. And some, a speaker. So there we go. Nice speaker. Didn't realise it came with its own sound system. That's pretty cool and essential, obviously. Let's go. Oh, screen. So there's another box underneath there. So let's. So Adam says, "Isn't the pirate known as Pirate Pete?" I don't know. I don't think so. I asked the co-founders of the company, and they didn't seem to agree that there was a name, other than it was just the pirate. Okay, how do we get into this? I'm trying to see if there's a logical way into this little bag. If not, we're just going to tear it open and see what's going on here. So this looks like it's screen type stuff. So we've got some Perspex, or acrylic, yeah, Perspex. There's the brand pieces there. They look like they're for holding the screen in place, would be my guess. And a little cable as well. Let's put that to one side just here. What else have we got in there? Got some little screws, tiny little header with a very nice high quality looking connector on it. I'm guessing that's for the screen as well. The opening was folded over and stuck down apparently. Yeah, I can see it now. There's the opening. That's what I should have gone for. I was just too keen. It's not like I'm going to be putting this back. Okay, and then we have there the Pirate branded shield bag, and it's I assume that's the hat. That's the display driver. Let's have a look at that a bit closer. Love the branding on these things. So it says there, this is the display driver, HDMI to LVDS, digital audio, PWM backlight. And it's just like a little board with a HDMI output. That looks like it could be the, I'm guessing that's going to go in there in a minute. And then there's a little LVDS connector as well, I guess, there too. Make sure I'm really careful with those. And then there's a little LCD keypad. So that has a couple of buttons on it. So we have power, menu, next, previous, and exit. And I'm guessing that's what the other side of that goes into. I will follow the instructions, but I like to just try and guess these things as we go. And then let's open this a bit more carefully. This looks like it's the screen. This is the 10-inch screen. Yes. That's a very nice looking screen. I'm probably going to keep it in there till we need it. But yeah, that's looking very nice. Very nice. And it's got the connector on the back, which looks very much like that connector there. So that's going to be the screen connector. Awesome. Let's put that to one side. I'm glad I've got a really big desk to do this on. Okay, we have the fixings. This box contains the Picade hat, nuts and bolts, spacers, grommets, HDMI, USB cables, fixing corners, rubber feet, and hookup wires. So is there a logical way to get into this? Let's just tip it all out. Okay, just making sure you can see all this all good. Might zoom in a little bit so we get a bit of a closer look at some of this. Okay, so yes, this is a whole bag of bits and bobs. Look at that little pin party. A soft enamel Pimeroni pin party badge. Looks very nice. You can see that there. HDMI cable. All the fixtures and fittings. Looks like there's some feet in there as well. Some edges, some screws. Lots of, wow, look at that. Look at that for an impressive looking cable. So I'm guessing that is for the arcade buttons, with a load of DuPont cables on the other side. Looking pretty nice. I can also see in there USB to micro USB cable as well. And we have the Picade hat. Let's have a look inside here. I always wonder if there's like a particular way you open these. They put the sticker sort of over the bag. So let's just use some, what do you call them? These blue things come with every single 3D printer. I must have about 4 pairs of these, 5 pairs even, pliers. Of course, I'm trying to do this on camera and I can't. Can't even get the thing in between the bag. There we go. This is exciting TV for you to watch, I can tell. So is there any soldering required to build this? Not that I'm aware of. I think it's all plug and play. And the construction is part of the fun, really, isn't it? So yeah, it's all designed to be sort of pushed and pulled in. I think you need a screwdriver. That's probably about it. There we go. This is really nicely packaged in here. So we have a very small hat. As you can see there, it has It has utility, it's got buttons, joystick, utility, it has a speaker, plasma, the screen, it's got a switch, it's got power, which is a USB-C power, and hold a bit higher up, you can see there, and it's also got the hack header as well. I'm not sure what the hack header's for, I'm assuming so we can hack it. And there's the 40-pin Raspberry Pi connector, so it just sits on top of our Raspberry Pi. Okay, let's put that over there. Let's get that out. And then the cabinet. So I had a bit of a tour around the Pimoroni factory the other week, and this was their second product that they made, the Picade. Not this generation, but the very first generation. And the reason that they came to this is all because of these acrylic panels. So they first started out, let me just go to that camera there for a second so you can see this a bit easier. So these panels, these have actually been sort of blasted with, I don't know if you can see that if I do it from there. They've got kind of a smoky effect. So they're sort of sprayed with like a lacquer or some kind of powder coating or something to give them a really nice effect. But yeah, the acrylic. So Pimoroni created the Pibo, which is like the first Raspberry Pi case before Raspberry Pi brought out their own case. And that was what really shot them into business, really. So Jonathan says they are powder-coated MDF. Fantastic. So it's not plastic. This is actually MDF. Fantastic. Hi, Jonathan. How you doing? So yeah, this is looking really, really nice. So I've got the sides. The sides are clearly labelled as well. So we've got side B on there. If we go back to the overhead. Maybe just zoom out a fraction so we can see what's going on. There we go. See, that's side D, side A, side B. That one is side F, it just says on there. And we also have some other pieces there, C and E. It says 1UP and coin, which is just amazing. Awesome. So let's see what else we have. So what is this? It's like Christmas, this for me. Okay, so this is some more sections. There we go. So you can see there, that's where the joystick buttons go. Very nicely put together, this. So look at that, that's going to be, I guess, in that kind of orientation, and our joystick goes through there with our buttons. We've then also got a nice, oh, this is really nice. So we have like a, look at the, I don't know if you can see the, look at that, that looks absolutely gorgeous. And then we have this Perspex piece that can go on top of that. So we can peel that back, and then we get that really nice sort of piano glass effect on there. That's going to look really, really nice when that's together. And we've got some other pieces here, which are the sort of the top piece and the front piece, I guess. That's also got the Picade. Yes, so that's the top piece with the Perspex, again creating that really glossy kind of finish. So that's going to go sort of at the top. Just looking at the picture there, that's going to be that piece there. Awesome, awesome. So let's have a quick look at what people are talking about in the chat, and let's see what else is going on. So people who are watching on the chat there, you can see we've got Jonathan from Pimoroni in the house. And yeah, this was a bit of a last minute kind of stream. I just thought I want to get playing with this thing, so I thought I can't just unbox it. That would be just wrong, wouldn't it? So I have to do this as an unboxing stream. So I've not really planned out any kind of content for this video other than just me taking this box apart with all the different pieces and then just having a play with it. So I might start putting it together. If you want to hang around while I do this, absolutely, let's do this. Cool. So I'm just going to go back to Jonathan says, I saw your stream come up randomly, so I thought I'd drop in for a peek. Awesome. Yes, I couldn't let this day go by without just getting the Picade up and running. So there we go. Got the Raspberry Pi 4. I think we might do that first, actually. I'll get the Raspberry Pi 4 unboxed and we can get the hat on there. I'm just looking around to see where did I put that. There we go. It's underneath all the bits and pieces. I'm loving the sticker pack that comes with the Picade. Really nice. Really nice touch, that. Right, I'm going to go back to the overhead. So I've got my brand new Raspberry Pi 4. This is the 2 gig version. And that just says open here. So they don't put very much packaging together with these, it's pretty much just that. And there's a how-to thing in there as well. So now I do have, here's one I prepared earlier. I do have a memory card that I burnt using the Raspberry Pi imaging software. And this is probably a little bit out of date now because they released a new version of Raspberry Pi OS just last week. So there's a few tweaks in that. Cool. Right, so I'm going to take the little card out of the SD card holder, and I'm just going to plop this in place, just like so. So that'll be ready to go. I've got a million Raspberry Pi. I just show you this little selection of things down here. That is a collection of Raspberry Pi power supplies, so I'm pretty sure we have a Raspberry Pi power supply to go with this as well. Cool. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the hat on. Let me just get to the overhead again. Maybe we can have a bit of side view on this one as well. So there's our Raspberry Pi 4, and we're just going to get the Pi hat. Put that on there. Now I think it does come with some standoffs. As I'm putting this on here, I'm realising I need to get the standoffs and install them. Oops, that camera there. So yeah, as I'm putting this on there, I'm realising that's not very stable because I've not put the standoffs on there. So there is a little bag that's got those in it. I'm sure you put together some really detailed instructions for this, but I'm just too excited. So let me just see where I put that little bag of bits. So I think it is in here. Let's have a look. Yes, so there's a couple of bags there, and there's a couple of bags full of standoffs. So I've actually ordered a whole bunch of these from Pimoroni yesterday. I think I ordered 20 sets of these little standoffs, and these are going to do really well for the Raspberry Pi cluster, the Zero cluster that I'm building. I've got a whole bunch of Raspberry Pi Zeros. There must be about 20 of them, and I'm going to put them into a little configuration to create a cluster. Okay, so we have some little screws. There we go. And the way these work is, let us do this. So let's put a screw underneath. Maybe we can zoom in a little bit further again with that. Let's do that. There we go. Just trying to maneuver myself and the microphone and everything into place so you can actually see what I'm doing. There we go. So screw that into place there. And another little screw going into this one. Yeah, they're looking about the right size ones. Okay, so I think I need some other ones from in here. Just making sure I'm not using the wrong ones. No, that looks correct. Yeah, do shout if I'm doing this wrong. Oops. There we go. So I was very impressed. I saw on Twitter today, Raspberry Pi tweeted that the pinouts.xyz website, which is created by Pimoroni's very own Phil Howard, is it? He hosts that website, and it's like a pinouts for Raspberry Pi. So if you want to know what all these things do, you can just go to pinouts.xyz, and he actually hosts that website. And on that website is over 209 extra hats that have been added. Quite a lot of them are from Pimoroni as well. So pretty good to get such good level of support on all these components. Right, let's try putting this into place now. Yes, that's looking good. Push that onto there. Nice, good fit. Yeah, that's a nice solid fit. And we know it's the right orientation, only goes one way round. So Dale says every day is taught like a pirate day at Pimoroni. Yep, can you remember what day that is? I have that in my, burned into my brain. Is it the 19th of September? Taught like a pirate day. I have it in my calendar every year. Arr. Okay, let's get those bad boys screwed in. Trying to make sure I've got this on camera at the same time as doing it. I'm liking that speaker connector. That looks really nice. It's kind of at an angle. You can see that. It's kind of got like a chamfer to it that's nice. Yeah, look at that there. Very nice. The whole feel of this is very premium. Feels very high quality and premium. All the parts, everything's really crisp and shiny. I'm loving the dark coloured circuit boards as well. That's always a nice touch. Okay, we've got that last one. I knew there was another one there. Let's get that screwed in. Another says sounds familiar. Yep. Absolutely. So does everybody on the chat know what Pimoroni stands for? We did cover this in a video a while back. Is it Pirate Monkey Robot Ninja? Pirate Monkey Robot Ninja, that's the one. Right, so we have that. Let's zoom back out a little bit again. So what's actually some instructions with this, or am I just supposed to guess? Yeah, I mean, let's have a look. Could just go to the website, I guess, but I just want to kind of feel this out. Right, so that's looking like an underneath to me. E. Instructions are online, of course they are. Right, let's go to online and see the instructions as I come back into focus. Right, I'm going to grab browser. Let's grab Pimoroni. And let's go to Picade. Okay. Shiver me timbers. What have I done wrong there? That's the best 404 message I've seen. Shiver my timbers. Right, okay, let's just find it on the site. So this is going to be, what do you call this, a kit. So let me share my screen. So I'm on the Pimoroni website there, and we're just looking to find Picade. There we go. Interestingly, even though the name starts with pi, we actually pronounce it Pimoroni. Yeah, you do, don't you? I noticed that. Pimoroni. I say Pimoroni. Pimoroni. Cool, there we go. So let's go for the 10-inch version. That's the one I've got here. I know this because it says in very large writing that this is the 10-inch version. Cool. Pi. You're going to have to phonetically say that. P-I-H. Pi. Not P. Pi. You're going to have to spell that one out phonetically for me. I'm not guessing that one very well. Right, let's go for the instructions. So there's a really cool video there. I'm really trying to. Okay, let's see what we have. There's the Hat X features. Building your Picade. You will need online tutorial. Let's go for that. Pi light lift. Pimoroni. Not Pimoroni, but pi. Lift. Pimoroni. Pimoroni. Okay, got it. I think. So Dara Robot says, I've watched the entire video online again. Oops. Sorry, it just went off screen then. Let me just put that on screen there. So I've watched this entire video again. I was driving while you came on, but wanted to support you, at least hear what you were saying. Very kind, thank you. Pimoroni, there we go. Not Pimoroni, Pimoroni. Okay, let's get back to what we need to do. So what you'll need, a 8 or 10 inch Picade with Pico 8. Yep, we have that. We have power supply. Yes, I have one of those. I have the USB-C. Let me just go and grab that from the back of the studio. So I have a whole load of these. Yes. So I have, that's it. Oops, USB-C connector on that end. And this is, I thought that was an official Raspberry Pi one, but it's not. Stromtronics. What is that? 0.6 3 amp it says on there, so I'm going to go with that. I've actually got a proper legit one just behind me, but that says 3 amps. That should be good to go. My power supply down there on the floor. I have this great big lump of a UPS thing. I'm sure you're not really interested in that. Right, let's get back to the instructions. What else do we need? We need an SD card. Yes, we have one of those. We have a Raspberry Pi 4. Yes, we do. We have preparation. Takes 2 to 3 hours to build your Picade. So it's going to take me about 6 in that case. A large space, like a table or floor with a soft covering as an ideal space. I really want this like retro wood, this reclaimed wood thing. Mine IKEA's best, cheapest desktop. And if you really fancy a wow stick, I want to know what a wow stick is. So I do have I have my favourite little screwdriver here. Looks like a sonic screwdriver. This one has been lovingly chewed to death by my little chihuahua. This was actually from McAleer back in the day. You're not really seeing that. Look at all that lovely chewedness. It really, really went to town on this and enjoyed chewing this. So I have a little McAleer toolkit. It's got a good size screw thing on it, so I'm going to use that. Has a little wrench on it as well. Okay, so what you need in the box, you'll find a poster, a cheat sheet for the Pico 8 with your redemption code. Awesome. We have a cabinet box, 6 powder-coated wooden cabinet panels marked A to F. Large square acrylic sheet panel, screen panel, printed cardboard sheet, surround, marquee assembly, comprising 2 acrylic pieces with arcade, yes, I've seen that. And the console assembly comprising wooden panels with holes and buttons, I've seen that too. And we have the screen box, accessory box, fittings box, okay. So, mounting the Raspberry Pi to the base, yes, I've done that. See if there's anything else going on. No, that's all good. So the wooden panels laser cut, and they are pretty awesome laser cutters you've got there. 6 gigantic laser cutters. They're pretty impressive. I wonder how Simon Monkey's getting on with his laser cutter. He had a bit of a fire with that. It looked horrendous. I think he'd literally gone to get like a cup of tea or something, and then there was a horrendous fire. Okay, so it says the wooden panels are laser cut by us and then powder coated by a friendly local Sheffield company. The process can result in some textural variances on the back of the panels, and you might also notice some holes in the back that don't go all the way through. These holes are where the panels are hung and powder coated. Awesome. There should be some good side on the label with markings and text. The label side will always be on the inside of your Picade, yes. So the patchiness of the side won't matter. I quite like that. What do they call it? I can't remember the name of... when you get like metal and it has like a funny effect. It's not... Nope, gone. I can't remember the word for that. Not pannier. It's got a name like pannier. To mount the Pi to the base, turn the base panel upside down. So the base panel is that one I guessed already. Grab that one. So let's just grab the right one. So the base panel is that one there. Right, got the base panel. So base panel is this one here, and I'm just looking at the picture and seeing that that's the same. Yes, that looks the same to me. That's that one. And it says to mount the Pi to the base, turn the base upside down, push the 4 nylon M25 bolts through the 4 holes near the rectangular cutout from the bottom. The threads of the bolt should point towards you. Right, I can see that just there. So that's where our Raspberry Pi is going to go. So have I shot the gun in that I should have used the different standoffs? So just looking through the comments there. You're watching a geek actually read the instructions. Mark this day on your calendar. Just pressure now, because you know we have the creator of this thing watching the stream, and I don't want to make a dog's dinner of this any more than I would normally. Look, I've even put on my Pac-Man t-shirt as well, which is complete coincidence. I think 90% of my t-shirts are Pac-Man t-shirts. Right, so it says place the white spaces on top of each bolt, blah blah blah. Right, okay, so yeah. This always happens with me when I'm building things. I always sort of get so excited with the thing, I just jump to it and then don't do a good job of it because I've rushed it. There we go, that's the bag we should have used. Don't tell Jonathan. Right, okay. So what we need to do is push these through the bottom, then put the spacer on. Let's have a look how that's going to work. So, and what orientation should that be? It should be pointing away like that. That's what should happen. Right, so I've got this little screw. I'm going to push it through. See if we can get this a better shot for you. So that's going to push through there. I've then got this tiny little plastic spacer that's going to go on like so. Should we get a bit of a more zoomed in view of that? And then I can then push the Raspberry Pi on top of that so that you can see there. There we go. I'm just going to put that down there a second. Right, so that thing I just put together, I'm just going to have to undo that. Because I jumped the gun, I think. So, the Camillo Cruz says, I want one for my community. Awesome. Patina, that's the word, patina. Yes, that is the word I was looking for. That's the effect you get on like rusty cars and stuff. I've seen quite a few of these car restore programs where they're sort of restoring, that's a really bad view, that, isn't it? Car restoring videos where they're restoring a car, and sometimes they just want to go for that sort of rusty patina look, and I quite like that. There we go. Okay, that's looking a bit wonky, that. So I've got this little tripod thing, and it's just got some wonky feet on it. I can probably make that a bit straighter if we want to, but there we go. So like I said, this is why if you say it takes 2 to 3 hours, it's going to take me like 6 to do this, because I'm a moron, and I just like to try and feel these things out without reading the instructions. Okay, let's just put that little screw down there. And then let's just pull this gently apart without breaking anything off. There we go. Right, so that is going to go like so, isn't it? Right, okay, so what we can do, we can just unscrew that. And that's going to go on there, I guess. Right, okay, I get it. Right, okay, so what we need to do is just put the other couple of screws and little spacers on. So there's these long ones, and we need the little spacers as well, of which there's a few. 1, 2, 3, and that one there. Oops. Yep, that's a screw overboard. I'm going to have to find that in a minute. Right, so let's try and get these in place. Yep, I'm an idiot. So it's probably going to be easier. Take the Pi off, put that down there. Kind of do it from the side on, I think. Have I got the right way around? Yeah, that's the inside view. Let's try and figure out how to do this without everything flipping over and disappearing. Right, so if I put the screws through first, and Floyd's probably watching this and thinking, why are you doing it that way? Why don't you do this? Because you're really practical at kind of engineering things, and I'm really not. Right, so I've got those 4 there. I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to lose 2 of the screws. So if my watch time drops off now, I'm really not surprised. Right, okay, let's get that screw through there. Right, let's start again with this. And let me just rescue those little pieces that have just disappeared. Down here I have dropped how many screws? 1 screw. And panel. I think that was the pieces that I dropped. Yes, that advice at the beginning about having a really like clean work area, that was probably a really good idea. Right, let's get that like so. Maybe not too far that way. Put that down like so. There we go. Okay, let me just scroll up on the chat. Alex said I could make a whole series of you constructing stuff. That's it, just making, like, Kev bodging something together. That'd be a really new series. Yep, you just dropped a screw on the floor, and I've recovered that now. I think I dropped 2 screws, actually. Marquee is the name of the top banner part. Yes, that did fall off, and I've got that now. That was this this little piece. Right, so the bit I'm struggling with here, then, and this is because I'm an idiot, is I'm trying to push these screws through, and there's 4 of them, so I can do that. I can tip it upside down like so, put the screws through, but then I've got to try and get these little spaces on there. Build it with Kev or bodge it with Kev. Yeah, I'm liking that. That's definitely maybe that's like a new sub channel. Right, I've got that. I've got that, and then a screw falls out. I'm going to use the box. I'm going to utilise the box as a something to hold it on. Right. So now, where did I put those little spaces? So we have one there. And then where did the other one disappear to? I think that's the piece that fell out before, isn't it? Right. What I'm going to do is make some space. Making sure I don't put anything on the screen. I'm going to use this box. I think this is a useful thing to utilise, so I'm going to put this in the box. Let's do that. There we go, that's a bit better. Where's that little screw spacer gone? There we go. Right, I'm just going to disappear for a second as I try and find this under here. Where did it disappear to? Hopefully there wasn't too much backside showing that. Right, so let's see what we have. I'm missing my little spacer. I've got one spacer missing. I think it's because it might have just flown off. Okay, I think mine's going to be a unique build where I've just got 3 spacers. Right, let's do that, because if I find it, I can always just take that bit apart and put it back on. Right, so the Raspberry Pi, according to the instructions, faces in that kind of orientation. And then these little pieces, let's go for an overhead shot. So these little spacers, let's go and screw these, put them into place. And it says on the instructions, this is why you should read the instructions. So it says you should use a little bit of blue tack to hold them in place. Now if I read that, maybe I could have saved about half an hour. So I do have blue tack. Yeah, I just realised now I'm spinning that round and it's, oh there, we got a bit of purchase. I thought, is it just going to keep spinning and spinning and spinning? So you're talking about what we grew up on. So I think the first console I had, and it wasn't even mine, it was, my dad used to work at Radio Rentals, which was like a TV repair shop and TV and video rental place. And they had something called the Intellivision, which was for rental. Thanks, Jonathan. Catch you later. You might drop back in later. Yeah, you'll probably find I'm probably on world's longest stream, about 10 hours long. Awesome. Thanks, man. So yeah, I had an Intellivision, which was like a really cool console. Oh, what have I done? Just ruined that. There we go. Get my little spacer back. And yeah, they had like these little paper things that went over the buttons. So there's like a keypad with maybe like 9 buttons on it, maybe a few more. And then you had like a little paper plastic insert thing that kind of went over the top of the... like it kind of slid in. And then it was like a different game. So if you had like cricket... yeah, just like left, right, up, down. If you had like a driving game, there'd be like directions and so on. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I think you probably still get them. But they were weird because the controllers, they kind of slid into the, it's kind of like that, and there's like two controllers that slid in either side. Yeah, right, okay. So now push this into place. I'm sure Jonathan couldn't stand the stress of watching me just destroy this thing. There we go. Okay. So Jenny said she didn't even know that this thing existed, this Picade. She would have got me one for my birthday. Getting like Lego sets that I've not got now is quite difficult because I tend to have all the Technics ones. I've not got the Death Star or the those really expensive ones. Millennium Falcon one, that's pretty expensive. I don't have that. Right, so we have a Raspberry Pi mounted on the base plate. That's the first step. Okay, let's have a look what else is going on. So the instructions say, next find the Pi hat. Yeah, we've done that. We've pushed it on, we've screwed it in place like so. Attaching the feet. Right, I think I can do the feet without making a dog's dinner of it. Let's find them. There we go. So I have the feet. These are the little feet. Let's just double check. Yeah, they look like feet. So Adam's just uploaded a picture of his first games console in our Discord group. I shall have a look at that shortly. Right, so is there a specific place these feet go? No, they just go on the bottom. So they've kind of got that kind of like that. Is that right? That doesn't quite look like the picture. I'm going to go with that. There we go. And the feet is going to go there. It's like when you get the new Raspberry Pi Zero case, they come with like little feet. And there's like little holes that they're supposed to go in, and they never quite fit, in my opinion. But again, that might just be the idiot factor. Okay, so that is now in place. We've got the feet done. What's next? Let's have a look what else we've got to do. So attaching the brackets to the base. You now need the big bag of M3 nuts and bolts and the black plastic brackets from the fixing box. You'll need to use these nuts and bolts for fixing the cabinet together, and then you'll want to always have them so the heads of the bolts are on the outside and the nuts are on the inside of the cabinet. Cool. Okay, I can see the picture there, what this should look like. So Alex says, go and have a look at Adam's first console in our Discord. You can join Discord as well if you click the link. I'm just going to bring it up and have a look at it actually. Let's have a quick peep and see what Adam's first console looks like. What? Is that even a console? Let's just grab that. What even is that? New game, save game, comp turn, hit me, Merlin. I don't even know how. All right, so that looks similar to that Intellivision that I was talking about. Let me find you a picture of an Intellivision. Intellivision, there we go. That's the thing. Right, let me show you this. So that's an Intellivision. So that's what I was trying to describe. It's got a keypad, and there's like a little slot at the other end, and you sort of slot in these cards depending on what game you're going to play. And then that's like a little iPod touch wheel. You can kind of spin it round, and you can also press buttons. And yeah, they kind of slot into this sort of section. Look at that wood paneling as well, with this weird sort of telephone cable. Very, very weird. So yeah, let's go back to over here. Right, I'm going to quickly grab, see what am I dropping now? It's another cable. I really need to be careful with dropping things. Let's just tip it in there like that. Right, so there's the big bag of nuts. These are the sections. And it's just nut bolt, isn't it? Right. I think I can do this. And it's just like so, is it? Let's get the yeah, messy desk. It really is now, isn't it, Alex? Messy desk. Yep. So that's going to go down. The nut head is going to go from underneath. And it's going to kind of come on to the top piece. Oh right, that seems weird. These are the right brackets, aren't they? Yes. Ah yeah, it says the brackets can be a bit tight, so you need to apply a bit of pressure to get the screw through first to engage. That's what I was just wondering. Okay, I'm just screwing that in. There's my screwdriver gone. Let's screw this into place, like so. And then I have got a little nut, so do I need to put a nut on there as well? Put a nut into place as well. Let's give that a bit of a tight. There we go. So what's Adam saying there? Geeks always have messy work areas. Adam please the fifth. See, a messy desk is a sign of a tidy mind. People have like really tidy desks. They're the ones you've got to watch out for. Okay, let's put that into there. Let's get that screw into there. I'm really spoiling you with this YouTube content. This is just gold, isn't it? All right, let's try and get that through there. That tight hole is really not quite the right size, but there we go. It's gone through now. As Adam says, I think I have one of those desk things somewhere. Yeah, it's underneath all the stuff, isn't it? Oh, what was that? That was a screw falling off. Right, so instead of having the screws on the front of the desk, it'd be really good to have everything in the box, and then it can't fall off anywhere, can it? Okay, that's 2 brackets down. Let's get the next brackets. How is this camera view? Do you want me to change it around at all? Let me know in the comments. I was thinking about Instagram Live in this as well, but I'd need another thing to hold my camera with. Okay, so this needs to go through this side here. I'll change the camera view in again in a second. So I've got that going through there. Yeah, so I have 4 desks in this room, and then there's kind of like an area. Let me just adjust that. Oops, that's a super zoomed in view. Let's zoom back. There we go. And then we just need a little nut on there. Interesting, there's just like 1 screw. I'd have gone with 2 screws. So that it's, I guess you pay every hole you drill in these things, so maybe that's what's going on there. Right. Okay. Push through there. Instagram by Meta. Is it by Meta now, is it? I thought they were keeping the brand separate. So, right, a long time ago, I joined Second Life, which is like a virtual reality game thing. And in Second Life, you could buy and sell land, and they had currency called Linden dollars. I bought Linden dollars a long time ago, And I recently logged into Second Life just to see like had they expired or anything. No, they've gone up in value. I think I've got about $50 worth of Linden dollars, and I wouldn't have spent that much back then. So a bit of Linden inflation has made my money worth more. There we go. But yeah, I don't understand the whole metaverse thing, because you can create as many metaverses as there are computers out there. Each one could have its own version of reality. Yeah, Second Life still running. It is. I think it's going to have a resurgence, actually. Get those Linden dollars now. Right, attaching the speaker is next. So it says, touch the speaker, the label side with the panel. This is panel A, yep. This is our speaker thing, this is our speaker. And they've got the wires on that side, so I'm going to copy that. And they say, secure it with the M3 screws, push it through from the good side, and the M3 nuts. The paper cone is delicate. Take care not to accidentally damage it. Accidentally damage it. They must get lots of returns from people saying, I've accidentally damaged the speaker. Okay, let's get a couple of screws out. Oops, not that many. And then a couple of nuts. And then let's push that through. Oh, right, there's just two. I got 4 out. I need to adjust the lighting on this because, well, actually, I don't think it's the lighting. I think it's the camera's aperture. It's set it to like auto at the moment, and it always seems to pick the wrong setting. Okay, so that's through there. Toss the speaker for an upgrade to a coaxial mounted speaker from Alpine. Absolutely. Get a Sonos speaker in there. Right, so that's through there. Let's just get that bit of a tighten up. Not too tight. Don't want to crack it. Oh, it is MDF, it probably won't crack it, will it? It'll just... There we go. Okay, what's next? Oh, you saw what I did. I've accidentally moved that round. I don't think it matters, actually. So next we get the speaker wire, and we're going to plug that into those speaker connectors, which are just down there. The speaker wire connects to the push-fit connector on the Picade X hat, marked red positive, black to negative. This is the fiddly bit of the connector, so it's worth looking at how it works before you start touching the wires. What are you saying? Look down the barrel. It says, look down the barrel of the connector whilst using a small screwdriver to gently press on the round indentation of the top of the connector. You'll see a little iris open up inside the connector. Yes, I understand how that works. Let me just have a look. He says confidently, yes, I understand how that works. I'm just going to press on that. Is that what you do? Don't press too hard. It's possible to break the clips if you do. Press down gently. Okay, I think I understand how that works. I'll show you this in a second because it's an interesting kind of concept there. Just trying to figure out how that works. Okay. I'm going to give it a go and then we shall see. Right, let's get back to overhead. So what they're saying here is this little speaker connector. Let's have a look at that a bit closer. There is these little indentations that you push down, and we're going to push these cables into those connectors, and it's a push fit. So what I'm going to do, probably just going to ever so slightly separate those two, just like that, and then I'm just going to push that in. Like so. And it says if you push down on these little, that and that, it should open out a little iris thing. I really can't feel that doing anything, but it says don't push down too hard or you can break the clip. So I'm not feeling anything different there as that goes in. Okay, I could feel it grip a little bit then. Not a big fan of these connectors. It was in there for a second. I don't think it was in enough. I'm worried about pressing this too hard because these really don't seem to move at all. Has anybody used these before? If you connect it wrong, the music will play backwards. That's exactly right, yeah, it sort of plays in a different language in backwards, doesn't it? Right, I'm just going to try that. So if I break this, I'm just going to go crying to Jonathan saying, I think your product's broken. Let's try that a bit more. There really isn't like a little iris opening up as I look down the barrel. Oh, that's connected. That has gone. Right, I understand. Just need to get the black one in now and do the same. So as you push it in... Nope, no, it came out then. Right, that definitely went in then, I felt that. Yep, that's in. That's in. We're good. So where's that supposed to go around then? Okay, what's next? That was a bit fiddly. The wire should grip quite tightly. Okay, that seems to be okay. Attach the sides and the front. Ooh, okay. Locate the wooden panel B and panel D, and then push the nuts through. Okay, I can see there the picture. Right, okay, so we need D and B. So we have B and we have D. So they're going to go okay, yeah, I see that. Just aligning the holes with those brackets. I see that now. Right, okay. So time to get one of those little screws and the nuts. I did buy a bag of these screws and they were all like pre-greased with stuff. It was a horrible sensation. These don't seem to have any oily residue on them, which is good. So let me just make sure I'm getting this in the right way round. So they've got their A pointing towards them, and they have a panel B pointing like so. So I'm going to do the same thing. go, that's one. Do the second one. Like so. Okay. Let's just put that little nut into place. Get it finger tight. Okay, and then the second one. Oops. It's stuck on the speaker. What was that comment there? If you connect it, so push the clip down and then push the wire in while the clip is pressed. Yes, that's what I'd figured out, but it said don't press it down too much, and as I was pressing it down it didn't seem to be grabbing at all, so there's definitely a sweet spot of how much you should grip. When it said don't push it down too much, I thought, well, how do I know what's too much until I've done it too far? And then I go, alright, I now know exactly how much is too much. But yeah. Okay. This is why I'm good at coding. I'm rubbish at the physical stuff. That seems pretty solid. Okay, so I need to do the same one. Yep, and then you'll hear things no human should ever hear. Aliens can listen, but not humans. I hear people hear demons. Right, I just need another 2 nuts and bolts. 1 and 2. Right. Let's just pre-push these through, like so. Okay. That's my arm hugging the microphone there. I don't know if it's making any kind of rustling sound, but so I have the microphone on a little arm that can, a boom arm that goes underneath, and it can sort of swing round into place. So if I'm on the overhead camera, you should be able to hear me nice and clearly, though sometimes it can be quite directional. So if I'm sort of speaking onto the top of it, it might seem a bit quieter. Okay, let's screw that into place. Some people hear demons, others talk back to them. Right, okay, so that's finger tight. Oops. Let's just put that a bit tighter there. That one as well. Okay. There we go, let's go for that shot. As you can see, that's coming along now. Looking a bit like the shape we're interested in. There we go. You can see the microphone there. It's right next to the thing. It's on this sort of boom arm. I can sort of move it around a little bit. Cool. It's going to break for a second and just take a little drink because this is hard work. So what's the first game I should play on this? Let's see what else the instructions say as well. So the front panel is panel E. It slots between the short edges of the side panels. The tab should fit neatly into the slots. Make sure the little holes at the bottom edge piece next to the base. Okay, so, and attach that with 2 bolts. Okay, let me just go and find that one. Okay, so I've got that piece. And it says, I can see on there, coin and 1-up. And, alright, so was I supposed to do another little bolt facing forwards bracket? Yes, they've got a little bracket. They've got a little bracket down here. So I think I just need to put that in place. Yep, and then that attaches to it. Okay, let's do that then. So let's get the little bolts again. Only need 1 this time. Now we need that bracket, which is here. this over. That's better. That first push through the thing really doesn't like it. There we go. Got a little ratchet on this so I can spin it round if I need to. That's what that funny noise was. Right, there we go. And then I can get my little nut, put that on the inside, and then screw it down. That's good. Right, now we can get that front piece. And that, oh yeah, it does fit really nicely into place. Like, look at that. Really, really nice. Okay, and then is it 2 screws? Yes, 2 screws. Okay. So hello to everyone watching. So Alex, are you watching at the moment? I think we have somebody to boot off. I don't know why they put these very weird looking links in there. Doom, yes, definitely have to play Doom. So do you see that, was it yourself, Phil, who had Doom running on a Pico 8, was it? It's pretty impressive. I am, but I'm not on my laptop. I'll need to jump off soon. Don't worry about that. I can do it from here. I think there is a button I can press. Just need to get that screw into place first. There we go. So let me just find that on my chat window. And how do I do that live stream? And remove. There we go. So just need that one there. Yeah, it's looking really nice this now. I can see it coming together. Looking forward to putting the buttons on. That's the fun bit. Thanks, Alex. Catch you later. Okay. Screwdriver. Right. Okay. Let's see if we can get a better angle on that light. So there we go. What's next? Let's go back to our instructions and have a quick look what else we need to do next. So it says screen assemblies next, I think. Yeah, we've done all that. So while you've still got some flexibility in the cabinet, now is a good time to build and fit the screen assembly. Set aside the cabinet for now. For making the screen, you'll need the printed cardboard screen surround. Yep, got that. And the square acrylic front screen panel from the cabinet box and the LCD itself. The four curiously shaped screen mount acrylic pieces label top base, the baggie for the M4 metal flange bolts. I think I've got that. Okay, and the screen driver, the keypad, and the associated ribbon cables from the screen box. Yeah, I'm now wishing I hadn't just dumped everything out. All the acrylic pieces, including the acrylic screen, have the white film. Peel off the... Oh, yes, this is a good bit. Right, let me just go and grab all the screen pieces. Screen itself. So, I'm trying to think how best to do this. What I think I'm going to do is put that in the box. Oops, right, so move the box out of the way, like so. There we go. Cool. Let's move that into place there. Right, so we have the screen surround. They've got a version for the 8-inch screen and the 10-inch screen. So that's good. Put them there for a second. That's the top and the board. Then we have is that the screen piece? So there's the screen itself. I'm looking for the curiously shaped pieces. Where did I put them? Did I put them under there? Yeah, I really made a mess of this, haven't I? Aha! There's one of them. And I'm sure there's another little piece. And let's have a look. Okay, so it says on here, screen assembly. Take the large acrylic screen. Okay, I have that. I'll need the one with the hole in it. Where's that disappeared to? There we go. I have them. And okay, lay it down on the with the tabs on either side and the curved at the top. Okay, yep. And place the surrounding artwork face down onto it and leave the curved edges at the top. Yep. I've got that. So these are the curved edges at the top. This is the bottom bit. Should we just peel that off? That's so satisfying. I should have a channel just for this. I don't know what you call it. Is there a name for that? Oh. Right, okay. Let's get the artwork. The artwork's going to go. So there's one on there as well. So I used to bite my nails really badly. I'm glad that I don't now because I can pick things up. Okay, right. So the artwork goes face down with the thingy-bob that way. So that's going to look like so. Yes, that's good. Okay, what next? And peel off protective film. Oh, that was so good. Be careful to avoid fingerprints. Okay, I really should read these instructions before moving ahead. The two narrow clear plastic mark top and base. So I've got top and base. Yep, got those two. And okay, thanks for the reporting that, Adam. That's good. So he says, don't you have the 10-inch? Yes, I have the 10-inch, not the 8-inch. So you can see the different sizes there. Screen, if I go to the overhead, one's got like more of a bezel on it. Bevel or bezel? Not sure which. Okay. And yeah, that's a good point. So do I not need them? So there's 4 pieces there. Yeah, that's a good point. So I'm just looking through to see what it says just ahead. So just 8-inch and 10-inch base. Right, that's fine. Okay, let's go back to there. Okay, so I've done that bit. So I then need to do the next bit, which is the 2 narrow clear acrylic pieces marked 10-inch top one and 8-inch base one. Now when I look at mine, it actually says 10-inch and 8-inch. And it also says, oops, 10-inch and 8-inch on there as well. So let's just peel those off as well. This stuff just sticks to you like anything. just stuck in between. Trying to get these last little pieces off that just stuck on the 0. I don't know if it really matters, but it matters to me. Okay. See, that's got the same thing there. I don't know if you can see these pieces, maybe you can't, it doesn't really matter. But it just bothers me that they're on there. Okay. And then we need the screen. So the screen is just here. So there's the back of the screen, the front's on that side. I'm not going to peel it off just yet. And it says right, so that's going to go that way with the screen connector at the top. Just looking at the screen on there like so. So let's just put that down. Top. And what next? The two narrow clearer plastic acrylic pieces marked top and base go at the top and the base. So this is the top. That's the base. I'm not sure about that. What about these pieces here, top? That says 10 inch and that says 10 base. Ah, right, yeah, that looks better to me. Right, so there's these other pieces here as well. And let's just get them prepared. They look like they slot in between this back piece and the top piece. It's a real pain to get that off. Let's try from that side. So what consoles do people have now then? People have the fabled PS5. So the last console I bought was the Xbox One X. Yeah, Xbox One X I think it is. So I'm probably one console behind everyone else. And I only tend to play the Lego games on it, like the Lego Star Wars and that kind of stuff. I just love those games. Right. So I think that goes like so. Yeah, that looks more, that makes more sense to me. But I don't know if that goes on top. Holds it in place. Right, and then the same with this one. Stripping down ASMR. That's what the channel should be. If it's ASMR, I do it like really close to the microphone like that. Maybe that's what I need to do. Yeah, I'm stressing over stuff I don't need to there. Right, so that's going to go like so. And then that goes over the top, I guess. That feels right. Okay. And what do we need to do now? With all the pieces in place, the text should now read the right way up. Yes, it does. Before adding the final parts of the screen assembly, attach the display driver board to its acrylic bracket. Take the acrylic piece marked 8x10 and place it with the protruding point backwards. Yep, got that. So how do we mount the display driver? that's going to go on there, isn't it? Is my guess. That's going to go on there like so. But how do we do that? Let me just look at the instructions more. The bolts used to attach the display driver to the bracket are the 4 black metal 2 flange bolts in a separate bag. Flange ones in a separate bag. Separate bag. Right, so they've got like a really nice flanged head on them, so let's get them out. It's probably easy to show you like that. So they've got a nice flat head on them, so that doesn't protrude through when we flip this over, is my guess. Yeah, pretty much flat. Here's some more ASMR. That's the sound of a display hat falling onto the floor. Gotta be careful dropping screws on things. I have a vacuum cleaner that vacuums up nice small pieces. But luckily you can check the container very easily. Right, so I've got those in there. How do we now attach that? So these got low profile heads, no slot on the top to prevent the acrylic and driver board from bending too far. Use 4 plastic nuts to, okay, so we can use some of the plastic nuts. Get them out of here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Oh, they're very satisfying to go on. Adam says, when you place the screen the correct way round, or you'll get the Australian version. So PS Vita, wow. Hey Laura, how's it going? Just doing a bit of an unboxing video of this Raspberry Pi Picade. So did you build your own vacuum cleaner? I did not. I bought, there was one on Black Friday. Amazon had one. I think it's called a D-Bot. It's currently stuck, ran out of power. There we go. Right. So that makes sense. So that's going to go that way round, like so. Okay. Cooking with gas, as they say. So let's go back to the instructions. Have a quick look what else we need to do. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, right. So, yeah, that's... Should I have done a standoff? See, I think I read something and then figure out I've not. That's really frustrating. Let's try this again. Right, so what I've done is I've just done it flush, and I think you need to just stand it off a little bit. So I should have put a screw and then put the drive board on. Let's just very quickly do that. They're only finger tight, so it's quite quick to do. So can anybody relate to this, or is it just me? Am I the one who's the idiot here? Do I just rush to try and build the thing and then... Or are people the same? I do the same with like IKEA furniture. I hate reading the instructions. I just want to get to the bit where you build it. It's like the fun bit, without really taking the time to read through the very beautifully written, detailed instructions that somebody's probably painstakingly took a long time to write, test out that they're correct, and then publish. Right, let's try that again, but this time with the standoffs properly in place. And we don't want to do these too tight because it is acrylic, and acrylic does crack. If you put it under too much pressure, it just needs to be finger tight. There we go. Like so. Need to do the same with the rest of them. And we just need another 4 nuts. Okay. So Dale says, I'm not an idiot. Most geeks do this at least sometimes, including me. Yeah. I always think, oh, it must be self-evident how to do this, and then I make the mistake. But I always think you learn something by making a mistake. If you did everything perfect first time, you wouldn't learn anything. That's my excuse. I also said that this would be a really quick video, and yeah, it's going to be a little bit longer than I thought. But we're nearly done. We're not that far off, surely. We're on the screen already. Right, okay, so we've got the standoffs in place. We can now put that, that's going to go like so. And then that display driver is going to go that way round. Like so. We can get a few more of the plastic nuts. Not got many of these left now, I hope. But we don't need any more of these because we seem to be down to the last couple. Okay, so Carl says I do the same. Well, most of the time I get it right, but then it fails. Follow fails, read the manual. Yeah, and Dale says, I normally get into a difficult spot before I resort to reading the manual. I'm the same. I usually think, yeah, I understand what's going on, get the thing half built, and then realise that one thing I should have read the instructions for that was just a really subtle thing. It's like when you're building like a Lego Technic set and you miss that really one component because you were just keen to get the thing built, and then you have to sort of unpick everything. But again, you learn something by doing that. You learn why that thing exists, why that's important. I was wondering why these need standoffs, but I'm guessing it's probably to do with heat, and that chip there probably gets quite hot, or at least warm, and over time that might make the plastic warp or burn and smell. But by separating it just by a small air gap, that gets rid of that problem. That'd be my guess. Okay, so we nearly have this in place. Okay, so that goes there. Neversink says, I skip the instructions a lot. IKEA furniture is not one of those. I made a mistake too many times. Yep, okay, let's get back over to the instructions. So we've done that bit. And it says, before adding base 2 and the top mounting, the screen cable is built into the 18-inch screen, which makes it a little more straightforward. Open the LVDS connector on the drive board and carefully slide the grey part away while... Okay. So let me get that cable. connector here. Really feels like I should get that screwed in place before we do anything else. That doesn't feel like it's a good idea to put this in place and then that move about to me. I can see how that goes in place, like that. So Dale says the bad part is sometimes I get past a spot that's caused a problem later on, then I might have to disassemble everything so I can repair the problem. Yep, I know exactly what you're saying there. So, okay, so they've got some screws poking through there. So when did they appear? So there's no screws there. And then there's screws there. So I think I need to get these little screws in place. Use 4 M3 screws, push through the front side of the assembly, minus the clear acrylic to hold the screen assembly together. Right. So is it those ones? Is it the metal ones or is it the plastic ones? Use 4 M3 screws. So can we see on the other side what it looks like? So the keypad. Okay, let's just back up. So it does say 10-inch screen assembly. That's what you were saying before, wasn't it? That was on the wrong instructions. That's fine. We've done that bit. We've done not that bit. Okay, that's all good. These bolts used to attach the display are 4 black metal M25 flange. Yep, we did that one, that's fine. Yep, that's all good. I'm just trying to find the bit about the screws. Use 4 M3 screws, push through the front and side. Okay. 3 nuts, right. Okay, I'm going to do that. So let's push that through. Now do notice that the display has, or the paper, let's just very carefully move this apart. The paper's got like 4 little pieces of paper that need to be pushed through. You just see that. Need to remove that. Same on that one. And then that one. And then finally that one. Okay, let's put all this back together. Take the screen off for a second. trying to do this without the screws falling out. That's why I'm using the other piece underneath. There we go. And then the last one goes. Okay. It's a little bit off camera this, but just getting it aligned. Phew, I think we've done that bit right. Okay, so then we can get the screen back on. Don't know what point I should peel the screen off. I'm going to do it now, but I really don't want to touch the screen. Make sure there's no bits of plastic or anything on the inside of this. What I might do is just give it a wipe with a microfiber cloth before we do anything else. Let's just do that. I do have a microfiber cloth somewhere. Where has that gone? I do have a microfiber cloth somewhere. Nope, can't find it. Right, so let's just use this. Okay, I'm going to try not to get any fingerprints on the screen now. That's what I'm going to try and do by pulling this off and then just flipping it straight over. I repaired a Chromebook a while ago and that had a similar kind of screen to this. There we go. Okay, so then we need that little piece. Yay, there we go. That screen. Trying to get that aligned. There we go, that's one piece. Two pieces, perfect, right, and then that goes on top. And the other piece goes on top of there. Phew, right, quick, let's get some nuts on that. We just make sure that says da 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 da. Yep, that's all good. Couple of nuts. I'll use the last of these acrylic nuts, I think. So what do you guys use for sort of storing parts in? If you're making something like this, do you just work from the bag, or do you have like a little bowl or something so you can see everything and get at them easier? Okay. It's really not wanting to go on that, is it? Yeah, they're not same size, are they? Let's put them back in there. Let's use these ones. I think I'm doing this wrong, so let's get those. Let's use these pieces. I'll put in the. I think I'll use the wrong screws in there. So let's just do this again. For goodness sake! Right. Yeah, that looks better. It didn't say whether they were acrylic ones. It just says M25 or whatever. I don't know what they are just by looking at them. Of course, they're a different type of screw head. They've got a flat screw head on them. Okay, let's just take that out. Put in the acrylic one. Get the little nut. Tighten it up. It makes sense to use acrylic on acrylic rather than using metal on acrylic because you're more likely to crack it. M3 times 25mm. Me too, I just don't find them. I use a little magnetic ball I picked up at an auto parts place. Awesome. See, I knew you'd have the right idea there, Carlos. I'm not very practical when it comes to such things. That's why I like 3D printing. You can just make everything fit without screws. Okay. What I might do is put some really, really quiet music on in the background, because otherwise you've just got the sound of my clustered pie fan. And that's about it. Right, let's just tighten up a little bit. There we go. Right, I've got the screen assembly done. Look at that, no fingerprints. There's absolutely thousands of fingerprints, that's the joke. But we can at least clean this bit off, that's fine. Cool, that's looking pretty awesome. I like that. So now we need to put that little cable into place. Now, I've had some pretty bad experience with these in the past. So I'm going to be really, really gentle. Let's get a bit closer look at that. There we go. So which way round does it say that needs to go? Blue side up. This is fiddly, this bit. Good grief. There we go, that's in. Put the little connector thing down. And then this connector goes in that way, I'm guessing. That is very fiddly, but it's got a nice connector on it. Nice solid looking connector. Ooh, that's nice, that goes in really nicely. Yep, that's nice. Looks good. Okay. Right, what do the instructions say next? Let's have a look. So, lay the keypad aside for later. Your screen assembly is nearly done. So, what do I need to do? Yep. Cool. So they've got on their picture there, they're connecting up the little keypad thing. This is laid aside for later. So I've got the keypad, these little bits, and it says lay that aside for later, but that's going to go in there, isn't it? I'm guessing that goes blue side up as well. There we go, that's a good fit. There we go, that's nicely in there. Okay, what next? That's probably the fiddliest bit, so reward yourself with a cup of tea or something nice. I shall have a Diet Pepsi. That's very refreshing. Finishing the cabinet build assembly. For the rest of the build, the 8-inch and 10-inch go together in exactly the same way, so you're able to add the screen assembly to the cabinet, but before you do, you'll want to add 2 more bits of plastic brackets to the top. Use the M3 nuts and bolts to secure them through the hole as before. They should line up with the slots. Okie doke. So this is on the back or the top. This is at the top. Okay. So there's one, there's two. Let's get that case back out. Try and arrange the workstation a little bit. So here is our Picade cabinet, and we have, is it this piece, is that the top? Guess that's going to go in like that, is it? Don't know. Let me just check that instruction. So it's saying to do these here. Right, let's get this zoomed in a bit more, because, or zoomed out, or do we go for, I'm just going to move the screen assembly over here, out the way. Let's bring back this other box. Let's put this inside the box. And let's go to that view there. Right. Okay, so what I'm trying to do then is get these little brackets into place. So I need the nuts and bolts. So I need my screwdriver for this one. I know these are a bit of a tight fit to go through. That bit there. That little nut. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put on some really quiet music. It's going to be loud for a second. Let's have it really quiet like that. How's that? Is that not too loud? Night, Adam. No fingerprints but thumbs. So Dale says, I bet this Picade is hackable though. Connect a wireless keyboard dongle to the Pi before assembly and it'd be general purpose Pi. Absolutely. We can always remote into it as well. Close up my arm there. Maybe we go back to the top view for that. Cool. Oops. What happened then? Okay. So let's have a look what else people are saying there. No fingerprints but a few thumbs. That works. Cool. Okay, so we want to get this piece, and I believe, let's go back to our instructions. They've got the little notch pointing away from them. So that goes like that. It sort of fits into place, these little lugs. That's nice. And then it says, you might find it helpful to turn the Picade on its side for the next bit, as you'll be wrestling a lot of bits to the slots at the same time. It's easy to get them lined up if they're at one end. You'll need to slot the whole screen assembly into the cabinet, making sure the curved edges are at the top. The tabs of the sides should fit neatly into the slots of the panel, and then they should flex through, and there should be still enough flex for the cabinet to wiggle them through. Okay, let's try that. So, okay, so I'm just going to go back to the screen in a second. So I've got the screen there, but that's just fallen off. I think I need to screw that in place actually. I think that needs to be screwed down. Does it mention screwing that in there? You know, look at the marquee assembly, that's the front piece. Oh, okay, yeah, so I'm not going to screw that down until I've got the front marquee piece, which is this piece. I think there's another piece to it. So it's kind of like a sandwich. These pieces go together, like so. I just need to peel off these bits again. Let's do a bit of ASMR. It's nice until it cracks, that sound. That's the nice sound there. That's one piece. Let's do the next one. Oops. And then the last piece. That says Picade. Okay, that's looking good. Let's just hold that there a second. Yeah, that's looking good. You can see the fingerprints that are on there now, but that's really coming along. So what do we need to do next? So you may now want to a little bit of masking tape or rubber band can help to hold the marquee sandwiched together. You can now slot the pieces. Yep, I've done that. Okay. To complete the body of the panel, like the wooden C, if you haven't attached it already, slot this into the top of the cabinet. Looking for section C. Let's just... Okay, yeah, got that. That's behind. It's underneath. And blah, 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 blah. Once everything is in place, then use the 4 nuts and attached to the top panel. Right. Okay. I understand that. So I'll hold that together. Lift this out of the box. Back to the... Let's go back to the overhead view. Go there for a minute. So that is... that's F. Oh, nice. That clicks together very satisfyingly. Let's get that in view. Yeah, that's looking really nice. Look at that. Nice. Right, so I need to get those 4 screws in place, but how do you get... Alright, so I'm going to leave that back piece off. I'm going to put the screws in place and then I'm going to put that back on. Yeah, I knew that would happen. Let's get one of these screws in place first. Slot that back in. There we go. Let's flip this round. Like so, and we need some nuts. Where did I put the nuts? The nuts are in the box. It's 4 nuts. Maybe we could start a new channel like IKEA Furniture Assembly. There we go, that's through. Last one. Nice. Well, thank you, Marcus. Really appreciate that. Okay, so there's a little thing dangling down there. Let's have a look what the instructions say to do next. So, we've done all that. Plug in the HDMI cable. And it says one end goes in the HDMI port on the screen on the driver board, the other goes to the HDMI or micro HDMI in your Pi. HDMI 0 is the default HDMI port on the 4, so you want to make sure you use that one. It's the furthest away from the USB ports. That's good to know. So let's go over here. So I've got this little cable that's got a HDMI, it's kind of a HDMI extender, and there's the micro. USB is on that side, so it's the furthest one away, which is there. Okay, there we go, and then we need the actual HDMI cable, which is just here. Also, live builds are always interesting. So does the Picade come with any games, is the question there. So it comes with Picade. There is a Picade license. I think Picade is it's not very expensive to buy, but this comes with a license for it, so you just have to go and redeem it. Oh, that's a nice cable. Nice and short. So one end goes into the extension cable. The other goes this round again. Just easily take that off now we know how that works. And that just goes underneath and into the driver board. There we go, into the driver board like so. Oops, I'm liking this back bit. I like when it connects in like that, that's very nice. And this little port there as well, that's the power port. And the power port, interestingly, is on the hat, because I thought, how have they done that? It's on the hat. Let's just arrange these cables a little bit under there. Okay, let's go back to the instructions. Okay, attach the keypad. And where's that going to go? Okay. So turn the cabinet around so you're looking at it from the back. Okay. All right, I see it. I see it. And what it says is there's these screws that are here and here. That's where we're going to attach the little buttons. So that's going to go like that, I assume. And when this is on, there's like a little area. You can see that. That's where that's going to go. Like so. Okay, so we just need a couple of bolts. So I'm assuming the blue, yeah, blue's top side up. There you go. It's easier to do it before we put that in place. It's a very tight fit that for those nuts. Yeah, use the nylon bolts and nuts. Right, let's get the nylon nuts. I think I've used all the nylon nuts up. The bolts, no, the nuts. So let's just put this in place and see what we see. Right, let me just see if I've got some nylon nuts left. I'm feeling I used them all up somewhere. Yeah. Well, that's a pain, isn't it? What can I do instead? So, because I can't find the nylon nuts, I seem to have misplaced two of them. I'm just going to use a bit of Builder's Friend, which is blue tack. Let's just stick that in there, and then stick that in there as well. It'll do for now. Right. I'm sure we'll find them in a minute. Okay, so what's next? So, attaching the power button. Okay. So I've got a whole load of, we zoomed out. The power button looks like. What are these? I thought it was a yellow one. Don't look like it's any of those. Alright. Oh, got it. There it is. There it is. There it is. It has a nut on it. And then looking at it with the two down, so that's C, NO and NC, okay. It's just saying that orientation. So if I go back to overhead, that's kind of that configuration there. Cool. Okay, so what do I do with that information? There are 5 contacts labelled 1, 2, NO and NC. We'll connect the LED part of the button, push the spade connectors onto the red and black contacts, one sticking out the blue bit either way round. From one of the black wiring loom, tear off a pair of cables from one end, plug these into the spade connectors labelled C and O. Okay. make sure metal connectors do not touch each other. Oh, sorry, make sure the back of the buttons are touching each other so you can gently bend the connectors separate if they are. Okay, yeah, I get that. And then, right, so that's going to go, it's going to go where? It's going to go back right. Spin that round. So if we go for that view there, there's a hole there. I'm guessing that that fits into like so. And then this nut goes back onto there. Screws into place. Like so. So the buttons are on the outside. Wouldn't that make it impossible to adjust anything? So the buttons, when we put this back on there, you can adjust them there. You can sort of click through, and this comes off very easily as well. So that shouldn't be an issue. So I just need to make sure I get that bit right. So there's a whole bunch of cables. So where is the red cable? They're all black. And there's a red one. Okay, I get that. I see that. So I have a red and black, and that's got that pin on the other end. So what they're saying is saying that there's two lots of them. Is that so? I've got a red and black and a red. Richard said, a live stream. Yes, right, okay, so let's get this correct orientation. So the red is going to be on that side. The red and black is going to be on that side. And then it said tear off 2 from one of the wiring things. So let's just grab 2. Like so. And they're just going to go to the bottom and the middle. Like so. Okay, and where are they going to go to next? So let's have a look. They don't say where they go, they just hang about there, do they, for now? Okay, fair enough. I guess they go in here. Okay. It says now is the time for a break. Final stretch. So how long have we been going for now? Let's have a look. 2 hours, 20 minutes. Yeah, this is probably the longest live stream I've done. Why is that all over the place? That's not good. Let me turn off. Let me just get my screen sorted. Hang on. Sorry, my screen looks a bit weird on there. I was trying to figure out how to adjust that. It's that's me. Okay, maybe it's fine. Maybe I'm just going mad. There we go. Let's just lock all them into place. Cool. Okay, so let's have a look what else we need to do. So the console assembly, where the buttons and joystick live. Locate the sandwich of wood, cardboard and acrylic with the holes in it. Line up the 3 pieces. Remove the protective acrylic layer and then leave the outer layer on until the end of the build. Poke the yellow blue buttons through. Okay, let's do that. So the first thing we'll do is get back to, let's go back to this camera for a second. So we've got this acrylic piece. Let's just get that. Let's get a little piece of an edge so we can do the tearing of the. So satisfying. So yeah, Dell says the instructions even let you know when to take a break. My pup does that for me. Richard says my bladder does that for me. Absolutely. I'm going to play on it. So excited. There we go. So that's our single piece there. We're then going to put our nice piece of artwork underneath that. And then we have the piece of wood, MDF, powder coated MDF, there we go. So that's the sandwich as it was referred to, and there's a couple of screw holes in there as well. So yes, so this piece of card, we just need to poke through those little dots to get rid of them before we put it all together. Another one just there. Like so, and then one last one just there. Okay. Make sure we've removed them for good. And let's go for that. Easy to put your own design in. Yes, absolutely. You could design your own label thing, put it in. If you're very good at art. Right, why have I just made a dog's dinner of this? There we go, that's what it is. Nope, that way around. Yeah, it's getting late, my brain's beginning to stop working properly now. Okay, there we go. There's our sandwich complete once again. And now we need to put the buttons in place, and the joystick. Look at that joystick. So, I know there's a nice big ball thing that goes on top. We'll do that later, I guess. And then this is going to go through. And there's a couple of holes in there for that to align in place. So it doesn't say do that first though, it says put the push buttons through. So let's just get the push button thing on screen. Okay, so we can do it in place. Let's do that. So I'm just going to get this like so. Maybe like that. Right, so I'm just going to put that down into place. Oh, that's nice. It sits really nicely in place there. So we've got these buttons. They do have like an orientation. They've got like little notches on them. Let's have a quick look at that. So they've got like little notches on them. And this corresponding thing has notches too. So that'll make it nice. So the way they've got it, they've got yellow, pink, blue. So the pink ones kind of go like so. And then the yellow ones go first. They have kind of got a top and a bottom, but I don't really think it matters too much. And there's like 2 pins, but it doesn't really matter which way. I mean, if you've got OCD, you'd want them all to be the same way around, I guess. Because OCD. How can I get that right? There we go. Like so. And then the blue ones go in there as well. Oh, they're nice. They've got really nice. Thanks, Carlos. Catch you later. Yeah, that's looking good. Checking the orientation of that. Right, what's next? So now we're going to do the joystick. Peel off the plastic adhesive on the top of the joystick. Alright, I didn't realise there was any. And locate the 5 pins. These are what you're going to plug the joystick cable into. Alright, yeah. I see that. So what it's saying is there's like a piece of protective plastic on top of here. There we go. And it says locate them pins, which is just that thing there. Joystick time, absolutely. Yes. So, what else does it say we need to do now? So just reading the instructions there. So it says poke the joystick through the bottom of the console and orient the pins pointing towards the buttons. So that way. So it says, is it an analog joystick? I shall show you. It has 4 micro switches underneath. So as you move it around, you get a definite click. So we need to orient those towards the button like that. So it's going to go through like so. Now I do think there is a little puck thing. I need to put that puck thing, over the top before we put it in there. That kind of disguises the fact that it's moving about there. Right, okay, what next? Fasten with 3 M3 bolts. Okay, I've got those. Let's do that. So let's push that through. So how do we do that then? Because I don't understand how that can hold in place. The nuts to I'm confused. Screws. No, there is not. So how does that hold in place? I need to see that. Oh right, so the collar goes on top. Okay. Makes more sense. Right, okay, that goes on top. But yeah, I don't see how these can hold it in place, the nuts. Yeah, that doesn't really make sense to me, that. Maybe they're just like really, the holes on the back are really large. Let's go for the overhead shot. And it doesn't look like they're going to hold that in place there, that this is just going to fall out. Maybe I'm just looking at that wrong. Right, and that goes on like so. And then look at that, there's a ball thing. Oh yes. That's nice. That is nice. Nice. Okay, so what next? Alright, so they actually addressed that. Where I was saying, oh, it doesn't look like they'll fit. The The bolts used to attach the joystick are slightly larger than the holes on the metal joystick plate. However, the holes in the plastic and MDF should be spaced furthest enough apart for the metal joystick plate so that the nuts grip over the edge, which they do. This is intentional of the design, and your joystick should be attached firmly, which it is. Push the black buttons through the holes on the front and the side of the cabinet. We're going to leave off the attaching the console assembly until after we wired everything. Cool. Yes, it is so much fun. Oh, them switches are strong. They are really not going anywhere, these switches. Yep, right, so I've got 4 left to put in place, so let's just go for, I'm going to go like so, that's going to go like so, that's going to go like that, and then this is going to go on the other side like that. Okay, so wiring loom. Okay, this is our wiring loom. So basically just going to put a pair on each, I guess. This looks a bit complicated. Take the set of 12 wires, separate the strands a bit into 6 pairs at the end with the spades. This will help when connecting up. Flip the console assembly upside down so you can access the buttons easily. Work from side of the cable, each connecting a pair of spades to each button 1 to 6, marked on the underside of the console. While you're looking at the underside of the console, take the opportunity to plug in the joystick cable. That's one of the 5 wires on the plastic clip on one end. The white plastic clip pushes on 5 pins. You'll be with the locking clip facing you and the metal exposed pointing towards the wooden layer of the console. Okay, let's try this. So let's get this like so. We're going to flip that open and we are going to wire up a pair at a time. Alright, they're actually labelled like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what they said to do is just like separate them a little bit in pairs. It's not like there's an orientation of like one side has to go, as long as they've got 2 spades per thing. So this is going to be number 1. Weird music. One. Right, they have a definite click to them when you push them on. There we go. And then next is that pair. Okay, so that's all them wired up. And they said, while we're here, take this connector. Did say they get a little bit bent sometimes in transit, so that's going to go over there like so. Right. Into place, and that's going to go into there. That's going to go into there. So let's just do number 1 first of all, so we know which way we're working from. So that's pair number 1. Okay. Right, and then we just need to take the other pair and I guess do the same. Let's have a look. Yeah, I guess we can swap these late if you want other ones. That is possible. Where's the dollar slot? So it did say infinite coins, doesn't it? There's a particular brand of button, I can't remember the name of it, that arcade diehards love. Those spade connectors don't come off once they go on. Tread carefully. Ah, Sawana buttons. Sanwa buttons are the fancy ones, I think. Cool. Can you just get the console and connect it up to any monitor? Just get the contact. You probably could do. You can buy Pico 8. You can get a license for that pretty cheaply. It's not going to break the bank. And it's a really great piece of software. You want to get that. Or replace the guts with a Pico for a massive stick fight. What's this music? I would want an analog stick for that. That's them. Awesome. Got some funky music going on. Let's turn this up a bit. The ones near the speaker are a bit fiddly. Maybe I need to flip the button orientation so it's up instead of down. There we go, that's a bit easier. There we go, okay. So let me just find which is which. Alright, so that's it. Let's see if we've got different names. Point. And we have one up. Here's the next one. So that button there, I don't understand what that is. Let's have a look what it says on the instructions. Blah blah blah. Okay, so before things get too busy, get our little micro USB thing and plug that in. This is to power the screen. What's this music? Before things get too busy. Right, let's go in there. Yeah, it's a really nice finish. You think that's getting busy? Wait till you try the illuminated buttons. What? Okay, this is Italy. Okay, they're all in. Yes, best not to think about. Build with your eyes closed, seal it up, and never speak of it again. Okay, let's go back to. Before plugging in Joystick, take a peek at the underside of the console. If you've got the connector plugged in correctly. One day, Schrodinger's cat. So, take a peek at the underside of the console assembly again. If you've got the connector plugged in correctly, with the clip facing you as you look underneath the bottom. Yeah. The ground wire is the one closest to the edge of the joystick. Okay. Don't know how we know it's ground, but okay. And where's that gone?
I wanna say something, bud. You are all that I see. You got dynamite. That smile's gonna be the end of me. I bet you taste like chocolate. Can I have it for free? I'm an explosion. That smile's gonna be the end of me. I wanna say something, bud. You are all that I see. You got dynamite. That smile's gonna be the end of me.
Can't help but think some illustrative pictures are missing from this guide. There's probably a video. There probably will be a video. Maybe I'm making the video. Ah, right, okay. I understand this now.
I wanna say something, bud. You are all that I see. You got dynamite. That smile's gonna be the end of me. I bet you taste like chocolate. Can I have it for free? I'm an explosion. That smile's gonna be the end of me. You cannot lie over
Okay, so that's the ground.
You cannot lie over my
Edge.
You cannot lie over
Okay. So what I'm just doing now is just putting the ground. Just trying to figure out from there. If you can see this. So that bottom one there is the ground, so I just need to make sure that's up there. I think that's what it's saying. Okay, so then it says, let's see what else it says. Blah 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 blah. If your joystick only has one direction that works later when it comes to mapping the controls, then the wires have been connected back to front. Cool, no problem. To connect the colour buttons, take the 6 pairs of cables, blah blah blah. Yep, I've done that bit. Connect the front. Enter, escape, 1-up and coin. Okay, so the one I didn't know was on the one on this side over here. So what is that called? Enter. Right, okay. So enter. Okay. I think I've got all those in now. There's like one set left over. The pair of black wires on the power should now go to on. The pair of black wires from the power button. Okay. Should now go to on. Okay, and what about the red one? The only one that matters which way around you plug it, so make sure the red wire goes into the header labelled plus. That's the one furthest away from you. Okay. Okay. Pictures are worth 1,000 words, they say. Okay. Oops. So, you're almost done with the build. Once you're happy that everything's plugged in correctly, remove the console cable again. Why is that doing that? This screen shouldn't move around. So it says, remove the console assembly. Attach the 2 remaining brackets to the outside of the cabinet with M3 nuts. Okay. It's worth leaving these nuts and bolts a little bit loose until you've attached everything. Okay. Okay, let's get some nuts going on. Nearly done, guys. Nearly done. Hang on, that's the spells. Phew. That's one. The next one. There's 9 people still watching. I'm very impressed. You really are sticking with me through this. Right, okay. Let's get this screw in place. To say leave it a bit loose. Loosey goosey. Okay. And what's next? I always think this sounds a bit like Neverending Story. Why do I keep doing that? Let's move that back to where it needs to be. Okay, so okay, that goes back on there. This is why it needs to be a bit loose, I guess, because you want to slide it into place. Just need to orient that screw a little bit. Okay, let's go back on that. Max says, I'm watching 100% of the stream and paid about 50% attention to it. It's just action packed, isn't it? That's why. Oops. There we go, that's that one done. Nearly done. There we go. So what next? What next? So all that's left to do is put the back of the cabinet on with the good side facing you, blah blah blah. The protrusion of the C-panel slots, yeah, I've got that. Pop one of the O-rings over the knob to keep everything in place. What? What is a knob? What's an O-ring? Alright. I see, there's little O-rings. Let me put that back on that. There's some little O-ring things, so flip this back round. Shove the cables in a bit. There we go. Save one of the O-rings for later. And there we go. Now, I've already peeled that bit off. So RetroPie, we need to get RetroPie installed. So let's just take this back off a sec and grab the... Actually, I don't need to do that. Well, it's probably easier to do it both hands, isn't it? Just need to get the little SD card out. There it is. Pop it back in our little thing. And what I'm going to do now is put this into my SD card reader. Richard says, just remember, if you completely assemble it and close it up, you are guaranteed to have to issue requiring it being opened back up again. Absolutely. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab the Raspberry Pi imager. Wait for that to load up. Okay, I'm going to choose the OS, and it's RetroPie. So, emulation, RetroPie. Choose storage, and is it 128 gig? I think it is. Right, yay, let's edit some settings. Let's call this one, you can see what I did last, RetroPie. And do all the rest of it, blah de blah de blah. Go for it. Right, yes. Okay. This is the really exciting bit as it downloads software. So while it does that, let me just have a look and see who else we have on the stream. So 6 people still watching. We've been going 3 hours now, that's quite impressive. So yeah. So I was just configuring in the let me just turn this down a bit. We were just configuring there in the settings for the Raspberry Pi Imager, like a host name. You can do that in the Wi-Fi settings. I did a little video on that a while back if you are interested. So what else does it say on our instructions? Blah blah blah. We're recommending using the RetroPie for your Picade. We found that third-party images often have configuration, default button mappings, blah blah blah. Does it feel like 3 hours though? Oh, it doesn't, not at all. It feels like 5 minutes. You need to connect to the Wi-Fi, blah blah blah. Yep, that's all good. Yep. You can change the keyboard layout under localization. Install the Picade software. So get Pimoroni, I like that. Get Pimoroni, and then don't look at the code. Just let it run bash. Sudo run bash. Cool. We trust it. Mapping the keys, the RetroPie's welcome screen should be able to hold down the joystick. Didn't realise that, sir. Oh, hold it down, I see. How is our imaging doing? Nearly halfway done. So while that's doing that, I'll show you something else. Oops. So I've got this Stream Deck here for switching various different scenes. So I can do things like go to the overhead, go to me, go to back to there just by pressing these buttons. I press that one, it goes to the screen and so on. And I've also got a X key, which is kind of a bigger, chunkier version. This one's nice because it's got like configurable icons, you can change all that kind of stuff. This one, you can hack the keys on it. So you can actually, so I've not plugged this in yet, you can actually remove these keys and put other keys in place, like an enter key or something. It's pretty neat. So I've got a whole lot of keycaps for it. I won this in for being a moderator. Cool. Right, we're at 70 odd %. It's going to do the validation thing as well. That's usually quite quick to do as well. Let's have a look what's going on with that. 92%, nearly done. I need to hook it up so you can see it. Hold on for a sec. So when do I put all the stickers on? That's what I want to know. Pico 8. Oh, so I've got a super secret code that I can't show you on here. I'm going to type that in a minute. Finished! Yay! Awesome. Right, let's do this. Oh, that's hot. It's like freshly burnt. Right, that's gonna go. I think that way up, is it? That's him. Okay. Let's get some power. Ready? Let's see if anything happens. Well, it's not set on fire. That's a good sign. Oh, and we need to press the on button, of course. Does it come on right away? Let me just kick that person off. Oh, did something come on then? It doesn't look like it's working to me. What am I doing wrong? Let's just get rid of that person there. So I powered it up. I'm pressing the power on button and nothing is happening. So what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Let's have a look. Oops, I'm supposed to see that. Let's go to the instructions. So it says plug in the power into the USB connector. Let's make sure I've got the right cable in. Let me just definitely get a good power thingamabob. Let's try this one. That light is lit up, that's a good sign. At least it looks like it is. Yep. There's like a red light on the button. Let's have a let's have a look. Let's take the back off and have a look what's going on. Make sure we have definitely got everything plugged in as we expect. So that's going into there. Is it playtime yet? It should be, but we're not getting any, the LED light is not coming on. I can see the Raspberry Pi's got power, but I'm not getting any light showing on the... Let's just flip this round. So I can see the Raspberry Pi has got lights on there. Well, there's a little LED on there that says I imagine should work. So have I got the screen in the right socket? That's the question. Hat seated securely in the Pi and pins aligned with the header. Yeah, that looks great to me. Let's flip it on the overhead. And you can have a look. Looks pretty aligned to me there. See that? Looks good. Raspberry Pi has got... There was a green light and a red light. Let's just remove the power. I'll show you. So there's green light flashing, red light, and then it goes to red light, green light, green light, green light. That's got power. I can see the screen's got power. But there's a little LED there I would expect to be working. That little LED is not lit up. I would have thought that one on the hat would need to be lit up. Let me just make sure all these are correctly placed. Ah. Nope. So the LED, it seems to be, let me just go back to that. So that's now lit up when I've removed the red. It said put the red one towards the back, and when I do that on the LED thing, the LED on there goes off. Unplug that and it's on. That's me suggests something's not right there. I mean, I don't care about that button lighting up. Let me make sure I've got that the right way round. Hang on. Let me scroll to the very top of the instructions for the power button. Right. Yeah, so I've got them. I've got the exact same orientation. So Alex says, just find you on Twitch looking after my sim streamer, and I can see you still going. Yeah, we're just trying to troubleshoot the issue we're having there. So that looks correct. Blah 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 blah. So yeah, HDMI text. You might need to force HDMI hot plug 1 into config, which you can edit from your PC on the SD card. Let's just have a quick pop round of that. What I'll do, I'll just see if I can connect to it from... so I have something called Fing on my network, which can detect all the different network devices. And I'm just going to have a quick look and see if Fing can detect that this has an IP address. And if it has, I'll just SSH into it and edit the file from there. Let's see if we can do that. And then we'll call it a day, I think. So I'm on Fing. I'll show you in a second once it's found it. So I have lots of things on my network. So we call this one Picade. So these are all alphabetical. These are all the different nodes on the network. So you'd think it'd be around here somewhere. It's not found it. Nope. So let's just do a refresh. See if we can find it on the network. Wonder if it's that one. No, that's 7. It's not that one. Okay, we could plug in a network cable. Let's do that. So I've got a network cable somewhere. There we go. And I'm just going to plug this into the Pi. Okay, let's do another quick scan. We should see it grab an IP pretty quickly, and then we can connect to it. Just trying to find it on my thingy-mabob. Come on, where are you? Picade. Let me just check on my router, see if it's got an IP address from the router. Nearly there. So P for Picade. Oh, it could be RetroPie. No bueno with Pi 4 issue. Yeah, could be, couldn't it? Just double check it's not anywhere else on here. Just looking through my router, all these different things. I have so many things connected to my network. It's untrue. Good grief. Right, let me just double check on that again. So, just looking for RetroPie. Octopi. No RetroPie on there. What does Thing think? Has it found anything? It usually tells you when it's found a new device. Seen TrialBots offline, which is hilarious. I have warnings. Right, let's just have another look and see if RetroPie is on there. Nah. So what I'm probably going to do is, rather than waste any more of your time, you've seen the build, we built it, I just need to troubleshoot it. So what I might do is just flash a different Raspberry Pi image so I can make sure it does actually work and the screen works and everything like that, and then I'll put the RetroPie back on. So stay tuned for later on. Sounds like a crash. That's exactly what it is. It's a crash. So let's just unpower that so we're not doing anything else. But that was a really awesome build. I'm very, very pleased with the RetroPie. Very high quality. Just that one issue with the getting the thing to work at the end, which is probably more me than anything else. The LED thing was a bit weird. I did swap it just quickly to see, but yeah. Well, don't know. Yeah, stick with a known HDMI display to the Pi usual port. So I do have on my desk a little Raspberry Pi screen just here that I can plug it into. A tiny little screen, but it's a proper HDMI screen. I can help troubleshoot that and then get it working. Awesome. Thank you everybody for joining me with this. I really enjoyed building it with you. 3 hours, bit of a massive buildathon. But yeah, I wanted to do this. I wanted to share with you how to build this too, because it's a whole load of fun. And then once I've got it working, I can show you Picade and Pico 8 and some retro games. So thanks for watching. I shall see you all next time. Yeah, really enjoyed this. So good evening and see you next time. Bye for now.